The second day of the final pre-season testing session in Barcelona has seen Lotus post the fastest time again. Let's join Rachel Brooks, who's been in the pit lane for us today.
Well, at the end of day 2 of this final winter testing session, it's the Lotus and Romain Grosjean who's top of the lap times, and they managed to complete 124 laps today at the Circuit de Catalunya. But it's the Red Bull everyone is talking about. We heard that Red Bull possibly having parts flown in tonight to go on the car tomorrow for Mark Webber and on Sunday for Sebastian Vettel to complete his final day of testing. So we put the question to Sebastian Vettel after he'd been out in the car today and asked him about the parts that were being flown in tonight.
I think it's normal, the last couple of days of testing, you always bring some bits on the car so the car is close to what you race at the first race. So do we. I think other people do as well. But still, it's a bit difficult to judge whether you're really quick or not, because people play around with the fuel loads, with the tires. The time of day makes a big difference as well. So it's hard to really judge, and I think we know more. And finally, we know more than now in Australia.
Sebastian, will we be able to see the different parts that you're going to be putting on before Sunday? Will we be able to tell the difference from watching?
I don't know. I haven't seen them, so we'll see. We'll see when they get on the car. If I see a difference, and if you see a difference.
So that's what Sebastian Vettel said. He said he'll see if the car looks different. We'll see if the car looks different. Well, I'm joined by Ted Kravitz now from Sky Sports F1 HD. Ted, we're expecting to see a different car, aren't we?
We are. It's not only parts, it's a whole new car that's being flown out from the Red Bull factory in Milton Keynes. So for all these mechanics in this garage, that's the end of work with this particular chassis. This will be chassis number 1. And rather than fit all the new parts to chassis number 2 overnight, which will involve a lot more work for these guys, they've decided to fly out the new car. Now that's needed some of the agreement from some of the other teams. But what it's going to mean is that we're expecting to see significantly different car when it rolls out at 9 o'clock. So this test is about to get much more interesting. Ominously for everybody else, Red Bull bringing more performance to this car, which has already, we think over the long runs, been the fastest here in testing in Barcelona, even though Romain Grosjean has topped the times with what would have been a low fuel run. But as they fire up the engine behind us, it's an ominous sign for McLaren, who are just adding piece by piece to their car here at Barcelona.
And you mentioned McLaren, we're still waiting for them to bring out new parts. Everyone has been sandbagging as we expected. What else can we expect to see from the final 2 days?
Well, maybe if we just move away from this engine that's revving up behind us, I think what we can expect to see is maybe some of these improvements that come to the Red Bull. They'll start bringing much better lap times, and that will be a bit of a shame as far as McLaren are concerned, because they've been working very slowly on these upgrades that they've got for Barcelona. They'll bring a new front wing, a new rear wing, and we'll really see then where everybody stands. Ferrari as well have been bringing more performance to their car. They tested a new front wing on their last run this afternoon, but they've already brought new exhausts. But for Ferrari to be bringing a new exhaust layout at this point, with only 2 testing days to go, is a little bit late in the game. So I think when we get to Australia, we're going to see Red Bull possibly first, McLaren probably second. I think Lotus are looking like they're the third fastest team at the moment, then Mercedes, and then potentially Ferrari, only the 5th fastest as we go into Melbourne.
Ted, thank you very much. We're not going to try and fight the noise any longer here in the pit lane at the Circuit de Catalunya, but we will be back here tomorrow to see just what Red Bull and McLaren and Ferrari and the other teams bring to their cars for the final 2 days, with just over 2 weeks to go until Melbourne.